Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Just a Dude podcast. It is January 2nd, 2025. I want to welcome you back. Today we're diving into two breaking news stories that have shaken the nation. On January 1st, 2025, both Las Vegas and New Orleans witnessed tragic and shocking events. First, a terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and later a Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. These incidents have left us grappling with questions about public safety, technology, and resilience. Let's break it down. Let's start in New Orleans. At 3:15 a.m. Central Time on January 1st, 2025, during a New Year's celebration, a white Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck plowed through a crowd on Bourbon Street. The driver, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, mounted an ISIS flag on the vehicle, then opened fire with an AR-style rifle after crashing. The attack claimed 15 lives, including the perpetrator, and left over 35 injured. Jabbar was a U.S.-born Army veteran from Texas, and investigators are uncovering troubling details about his radicalization. Here is a scene of what happened in New Orleans. Meanwhile, over 1,500 miles away in Las Vegas, Nevada, around 8:40 a.m. on New Year's Day, a Tesla Cybertruck exploded in the valet area of the Trump International Hotel. Tragically, the driver lost their life, and 7 bystanders sustained minor injuries. The Cybertruck, rented via Turo, was found to have been loaded with fireworks and gas canisters, leading authorities to suspect a deliberate attack. The driver, identified as 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger from Colorado Springs, was a U.S. Army veteran. Investigators are now placing together his motives and background. Here's a quick video of what happened in Las Vegas.
Meanwhile, one of the big unanswered questions, authorities are investigating whether there may be a link between the attack in New Orleans and the Tesla Cybertruck explosion just outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. And that incident is now being investigated as a possible act of terrorism.
The Cybertruck arrived at the hotel around 8:30 a.m. as seen as surveillance footage. Witnesses described a calm driver handing over the keys before the explosion occurred just 10 minutes later. The sturdy construction of the vehicle became a paradox, its frame for resilience juxtaposed with its complete obliteration. Thankfully, the blast didn't cause significant structural damage, but it left a psychological scar on those present. Back in Las Vegas, the explosion also left authorities with tough questions. The choice of a Cybertruck, a symbol of innovation, was deliberate, likely aimed at garnering attention. Investigators are retrieving data from the truck's onboard systems, which could shed light on the final moments. This incident highlights the potential misuse of advanced technology and the growing need for oversight in peer-to-peer car-sharing platforms like Turo. Back in New Orleans, Jabbar exited his truck after the crash and began shooting. Police engaged him in a shootout, fatally wounding him, but not before 2 officers were injured. A search of the truck revealed weapons and improvised explosive devices, which were safely neutralized by bomb technicians. The city's temporary barriers, insufficient to stop the truck, have sparked urgent discussions about bolstering security measures for public events. Mayor LaToya Cantrell stated, "Our hearts are heavy with the loss and pain inflicted upon our community. We are committed to enhancing our security infrastructure to prevent such heinous acts in the future. New Orleans stands resilient, and together we will heal and emerge stronger." Both incidents have shown a spotlight on the attackers' backgrounds. Matthew Livelsberger in Las Vegas and Shamsuddin Jabbar in New Orleans were veterans struggling with personal and psychological challenges. While their actions were reprehensible, their stories raise important questions about support systems for veterans and factors that drive individuals towards such acts. Jabbar's case is particularly alarming. Investigators discovered an online trail revealing his radicalization through ISIS propaganda. Though he wasn't on a federal watch list, his activity on extremist forums raised critical concerns about surveillance and the balance between privacy and security. The response from law enforcement in both cities has been commendable. In Las Vegas, authorities quickly secured the scene and began piecing together evidence. In New Orleans, first responders' swift action saved lives and prevented further chaos. However, these tragedies underscore the need for proactive measurement to prevent such events, including advanced surveillance, technologies, and improved infrastructure. These incidents have also left deep scars on their respective communities. In Las Vegas, heightened security measures are now in place at major hotels and casinos, with the hospitality industry grappling with the aftermath. In New Orleans, the French Quarter, a symbol of resilience, is mourning the loss of innocent lives. Yet, the city's spirit remains unbroken as local businesses rally to support affected families. A local resident was quoted as saying, "We won't let this define us. This city has faced hardships before and will rise again, just like we always do." These incidents also expose vulnerabilities in our security infrastructure. The Cybertruck explosion points to gaps in the regulation of shared vehicle platforms. The New Orleans attack highlights the limitations of temporary barriers in protecting public spaces. Moving forward, cities must evaluate and address these gaps to ensure public safety. In both cases, the attackers exploited existing vulnerabilities. Whether through technology or physical security measures, Livelsberger's use of fireworks and canisters was a low-tech yet devastating method, while Jabbar's assault was a horrifying example of how readily accessible vehicles and firearms can be weaponized. Addressing these issues requires innovation, policy changes, and community awareness. Another pressing issue is the role of mental health. Both attackers had history of personal struggles, raising questions about the support system available for veterans and individuals at risk of radicalization. How do we better identify and intervene before individuals turn to violence? It's a challenge that demands collaboration across healthcare, law enforcement, and community organizations. These events also remind us of a resilience and solidarity of communities. In Las Vegas, hotel staff and guests worked together to ensure everyone's safety. In New Orleans, locals organized vigils and fundraisers to support victims' families. These acts of kindness and unity are a testament to the strength of the human spirit, even in the face of tragedy. As a nation grapples with the implications of these events, there's a clear need for comprehensive strategies to address emerging threats. From enhancing surveillance and improving mental health services to fostering community resilience, the path forward requires a multifaceted approach. These attacks seem to become more and more prevalent as the years go on, and they all lead back to one thing. It's not the method of how they are done. In this case, we saw both an explosion in a Cybertruck, and we also saw someone use another truck to mow down individuals, causing mass casualties and injuries. These attacks lead to one thing, not the tools that were used, because tools are used in almost every attack, whether it be a firearm, a vehicle, explosions. Anything is a tool that can be used to cause terror. But in these cases, the one thing that's underlying it is mental health. Mental health seems to be the issue that keeps cropping up in the United States and around the world for that matter. And the fact is, until we get a grasp on mental health and make it available to everyone in the United States, that these types of incidents will continue to happen. Regardless if we take the tools away, these individuals who have mental health histories will find a way to continue these attacks. So I feel as a country we need to come together, address these issues of mental health and instability, work to get more providers, work to get more funding for mental health in the United States in order to help rectify these issues. Will it stop everything? No, probably not. But in these cases, there are options, and those options include getting people the help they need. And I hope that these incidents, while extremely tragic, will help this country move towards that need that has been needed for years now. Our thoughts, our prayers, and our condolences go out to those that were affected, those that were killed in this senseless tragedy, and those that were injured as well. We wish you a speedy recovery, and that may God be with you throughout the rest of your days. As for this country, we will heal. We'll get back together and get on the bandwagon, and we'll continue forward as a nation looking for these types of threats again. But for now, we just ask that everyone hold your loved ones close, keep your head on a swivel, and realize that anything can happen at any time. That's all for today's episode of Just a Dude podcast. If you have thoughts, theories, or just want to share your take on these stories, reach out on social media or drop me a message via email. If you like this podcast, don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast app or our many social media platforms. Your subscriptions and follows help us grow. As always, stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay safe. Until next time, this is Nathan, signing off.